In the late spring of 204 BC, the city of Xingyang offered no spring scenery to be enjoyed. Standing atop the city walls, Liu Bang, the king of Han, gazed into the distance. Along the banks of the Hongkou Canal, the fortified supply roads, Yongdao, leading from the Ao granary to Xingyang, were under heavy attack, with pillars of war smoke rising everywhere. These roads were the lifeblood of the army within Xingyang. Every breach meant that massive shipments of military grain would be delayed or intercepted, signaling a slow, agonizing death for Liu Bang's forces. The hundreds of thousands of soldiers trapped in the city were powerless to change this, and Liu Bang himself was at his wits' end. Besieging them with a frenzied assault was the elite cavalry of the Chu army, led personally by Xiang Yu, the overlord. Only 6 months prior, at the Battle of Pengcheng, Liu Bang, having mobilized the entire nation's strength and enlisted 5 allied vassal lords, totaling 560,000 men, had suffered a total defeat at the hands of Xiang Yu, who led only 30,000 cavalry. Watching his supply lines being strangled and his outposts falling one by one, Liu Bang could not sleep. He looked to his left and right, seeking counsel from one of his most trusted advisors, Li Yiji. This 70-year-old diplomat had performed legendary feats for Liu Bang in the past. True to expectations, he proposed what seemed like a flawless strategy. Restore the descendants of the 6 kingdoms and unite the world's power to attack Xiang Yu. He urged Liu Bang to find the surviving nobles of the old 6 kingdoms and re-establish them as kings of their respective lands. Once restored, they would naturally follow Liu Bang's lead to jointly invade Chu. Liu Bang's spirits were lifted. He immediately ordered the crafting of new royal seals for the 6 kingdoms, preparing to act on the plan. However, before he officially dispatched Li Yiji to execute the mission, Zhang Liang returned to Xingyang. Hearing of Zhang Liang's return, Liu Bang was so impatient that even though he was in the middle of a meal, he urgently summoned him. "Zhang Liang, come quickly. Someone has given me a brilliant grand plan to strike the Chu state." He then recounted Li Yiji's miraculous plot in full detail and asked, "What does the master think?" Zhang Liang's brow furrowed. "This is a plan that will lead your majesty to total ruin." Then Zhang Liang seized the chopsticks resting on the table before Liu Bang, laying them out one by one as he conducted a meticulous, point-by-point analysis for the king. From the multifaceted perspectives of relative military strength, the shifting tides of public allegiance, and the critical strategic disposition of the battlefield, he enumerated 7 decisive reasons why Li Yiji's proposal was a catastrophic strategy that could never be adopted. Finally, Zhang Liang delivered the most critical point. "Why have the wandering scholars and generals of the world left their families and homes to follow your majesty, fighting through cold and hunger? It is for nothing more than the hope of obtaining a tiny piece of fiefdom in the future. If you now restore the descendants of the 6 kingdoms, these generals and advisors will each return to their own native lands to serve their old masters, for the sake of loyalty and to secure land there. If everyone goes home, who will be left to help your majesty seize the world? On whom will your majesty rely to fight Xiang Yu?" Liu Bang had a sudden realization and immediately cursed, "I was nearly ruined by that old fool Li Yiji." Without Zhang Liang's timely intervention, the Han Empire would likely have died in its infancy, never seeing the light of day. And this was not the first time Zhang Liang had saved Liu Bang's cause, nor would it be the last. To be precise, without the genius strategic vision proposed by Zhang Liang, the Han Empire simply would not exist. Yet the irony is profound. This very strategy stood in complete contradiction to Zhang Liang's own noble background, his early life, and his original dreams. First, we must clarify a linguistic concept for our non-Chinese speaking audience. At this point in time, there were theoretically 2 kingdoms of Han on the Chinese map. One was Liu Bang's Han, with its capital at Nanjing in Hanzhong, which later became the Han Dynasty and the Han Empire. The other was the state of Han, one of the 7 warring states located in the Henan region. These 2 kingdoms have different tones in pinyin and are written with completely different Chinese characters. For the convenience of our viewers, when we refer to Liu Bang's Han in this video, we will use Kingdom of Han, and when referring to the original warring state, we will use State of Han. Zhang Liang, celebrated as one of the 3 founding heroes who established the Han Dynasty, was in truth a man of the state of Han. To be more precise, he was the scion of a lineage that had served as chancellors of the state of Han for generations. His grandfather served as the chancellor for 3 successive kings, and his father similarly held the position of chancellor for 2 kings. In this profound sense, the house of Zhang was inextricably bound to the fate of the state of Han, sharing in its every triumph and tragedy. Had the natural course of history remained undisturbed, it was nearly certain that Zhang Liang would have followed in the footsteps of his ancestors to become the chancellor himself upon entering official service as an adult. However, in the year 250 BC, when Zhang Liang was likely still in his infancy, his father passed away. Another 20 years elapsed, and before Zhang Liang had the opportunity to begin his political career, the state of Han, which lay directly adjacent to the expanding power of Qin and had endured a century of relentless military aggression, was finally extinguished by the Qin forces. Although many kings had governed with great diligence and employed a myriad of stratagems to weaken the state of Qin, all such efforts ultimately proved futile when confronted with the absolute disparity in military and economic might. In the year 230 BC, the Qin army captured the king of the state of Han, marking the total collapse of the state. The state of Qin then formally abolished the state of Han, reorganizing its ancient ancestral lands into what became known as the Yingchuan Commandery. When the state of Qin conquered the world, it did not resort to the total extermination of the old nobility from the 6 kingdoms. Not only was there no physical liquidation, but even their vast fortunes were not entirely plundered. Thus, even after the fall of the state of Han, Zhang Liang, the scion of the chancellors, remained a young lord possessed of tens of millions in family wealth. His household alone maintained 300 slaves. However, following the collapse of the state of Han, Zhang Liang did not take this fortune to live the life of a quiet exile. Instead, he liquidated his entire estate, exhausting his vast fortune to recruit death-sworn men, train assassins, and forge specialized weaponry. His objective was as singular as it was transparent: revenge. The preparation period was remarkably long, spanning 12 years. Ultimately, Zhang Liang discovered a strong man of immense martial prowess among the common people and commissioned a specialized iron hammer weighing 60 kilograms for him, supported by a cadre of rigorously trained assassins. The grand revenge plot of the state of Han Chancellor's son was finally poised for execution. In the year 218 BC, the first emperor of Qin embarked on his 3rd imperial tour of the world. As the convoy passed through Bolangsha, Zhang Liang and his assassins lay in wait within the tall grass along the inevitable path. When the imperial train arrived, the strongman hurled the 60-kilogram iron hammer with violent force, while the other assassins launched a desperate, suicidal assault. However, the naturally suspicious and cautious first emperor escaped the disaster. His convoy was immense, and to forestall assassinations, it included several identical deputy carriages. The heavy iron hammer struck a luxury carriage with lethal precision, shattering it instantly. Yet, it was merely a deputy carriage. The first emperor sat in the adjacent vehicle, completely unharmed. The elite Qin troops, reacting instantly, swarmed and annihilated the assassins, securing the emperor's safety. Zhang Liang's plan had failed. Following the botched assassination, the first emperor was enraged and ordered a nationwide manhunt of unprecedented intensity. Under this crushing surveillance, Zhang Liang miraculously managed to change his identity and fled to the vicinity of Xiapi to hide. This narrow escape not only proved Zhang Liang's extraordinary survival skills, but also brought him to a profound realization. Relying on individual bravery and primitive violence was fundamentally insufficient to topple a war machine like the Qin Empire. During his 10 years of seclusion in Xiapi, Zhang Liang was far from idle. He established a profound network of connections within the local community. Historical records describe him as practicing renxia, chivalry, implying the organization of a semi-official network of knights-errant that became a subtle power in the region. During this period, he even met and aided a fugitive wanted by the state of Qin for murder, a man named Xiang Bo, who was the uncle of the future overlord, Xiang Yu. It was also during these 10 years that legend says Zhang Liang encountered an old man dressed in coarse hemp clothing on a bridge in Xiapi. The elder deliberately dropped his shoe beneath the bridge and commanded Zhang Liang to retrieve it. Zhang Liang's initial reaction was raw. He wanted to strike the old man. To the scion of a house that had produced 5 generations of chancellors for the state of Han, such an insult was immense. Yet he restrained himself. He not only retrieved the shoe, but knelt to place it upon the elder's foot. The old man subsequently tested Zhang Liang's patience through 3 consecutive appointments. Zhang Liang was rebuked for being late the first 2 times, until the 3rd occasion, when he arrived in the middle of the night to wait, finally passing the ordeal. The elder presented him with a book, declaring, "By studying this text, you shall become the teacher of emperors." The elder identified himself as Huang Shigong, the old man of the yellow stone, and the book was The Art of War by Tai Gong, the strategic manual left by Jiang Ziya, the founding hero of the Zhou dynasty. Huang Shigong prophesied that in the future, Zhang Liang would find a yellow stone at the foot of Mount Gucheng in Jibei, which would be the elder's true form. This is the famous tale of Zhang Liang retrieving the shoe, a story so steeped in Eastern mysticism that even Sima Qian, while recording it in the records of the grand historian, felt compelled to add, "It is indeed strange." While the story is fantastical, one fact remains certain. During those 10 years in Xiapi, Zhang Liang's intellectual framework and thought patterns underwent a cataclysmic transformation. He began to engage with early Taoist philosophy during this era, using it to guide his concrete tactical thinking. Thus, he completed a massive cognitive leap. In the year 209 BC, Chen Sheng and Wu Guang rose in rebellion at Dezexiang, and the Qin Empire was instantly engulfed in the smoke of war. Zhang Liang, who had by now evolved from an assassin to a strategist, also rose in Xiapi with a following to join the torrent of anti-Qin resistance. Zhang Liang initially intended to lead his small force of over 100 men to join Jing Zhu, a descendant of the Chu nobility who had declared himself the king of Chu in Liu County. However, on the road to Liu County, Zhang Liang passed through Pei County and happened to encounter Liu Bang, who had also raised an army against the state of Qin. In Zhang Liang's eyes at the time, Liu Bang was a prototypical commoner and street rogue. He was born of a peasant family and had served only as a low-level Tingzhang of Sishui under the Qin system. Later critics even labeled him a shameless scoundrel or a thug. To a man of Zhang Liang's lineage, such a figure should have been negligible. Yet Zhang Liang quickly perceived Liu Bang's extraordinary nature. When he discussed the military philosophies and strategies he had painstakingly mastered over a decade, he discovered that Liu Bang was the only person who truly understood him. The war philosophies and political arts Zhang Liang described, which to ordinary men seemed counterintuitive or far-fetched, were grasped instantly by Liu Bang, who frequently applied them in live combat. Zhang Liang could not help but exclaim, "The talent of the Lord of Pei is surely a gift from heaven." This mutual appreciation led Zhang Liang to bring his subordinates into Liu Bang's camp, where he was appointed as the commander of the stables. In subsequent clashes with the Qin army, Zhang Liang witnessed Liu Bang's rogue-style pragmatism. Unlike the high nobility, Liu Bang was not shackled by a traditional sense of honor and would use any means to secure victory. In a cruel and chaotic age, this trait proved to be the ultimate survival instinct. However, a persistent obsession remained in Zhang Liang's heart, the restoration of the state of Han. Shortly after Zhang Liang and Liu Bang joined the forces of Xiang Liang, Zhang Liang proposed, "Among the princes of the state of Han, Prince Cheng is the most virtuous. He should be established as the king of the state of Han to open a front on the state of Qin's flank and divide their forces." Xiang Liang granted the request and dispatched Zhang Liang to assist King Cheng of the state of Han. Thus, after a brief alliance, Zhang Liang bid farewell to Liu Bang and returned to the ancestral lands of the state of Han with the mission of restoration. During this era, Zhang Liang's way of planning was still confined to the revenge and restoration of a single house and a single state. Though he admired Liu Bang's genius, restoring the state of Han under the old order remained his primary priority. But the brutal reality proved that Zhang Liang was not a preeminent field general. As the nominal Chancellor of the state of Han, leading a few thousand borrowed troops to assist King Cheng, he suffered repeated defeats and could not securely occupy even a single city in his homeland. He was forced into an embarrassing game of guerrilla hide-and-seek with the Qin army. The turning point occurred in the year 206 BC. Liu Bang was ordered by the king of Chu to lead an expedition west into Guangzhong and again passed through the old territories of the state of Han. Zhang Liang joined Liu Bang's army with the remnants of his state of Han guerrilla force. Under Liu Bang's command, the Qin forces on the soil of the state of Han were swept away. To thank Liu Bang and fulfill the anti-Qin cause, King Cheng remained to guard the state of Han, while Zhang Liang followed Liu Bang west. In this second cooperation, Zhang Liang officially defined his role as the first strategist of the camp. Liu Bang followed his advice unconditionally. At the Battle of Wan, he adopted Zhang Liang's suggestion to double back for a surprise assault, forcing a surrender. At the Battle of Wu Pass, he used successive ruses of deception, bribery, and ambush to complete the critical breakthrough. Crucially, when Liu Bang became intoxicated by the wealth and women of the Xianyang palace, ignoring even his brother-in-law Fan Kuai, it was Zhang Liang who struck the heart of the matter. The Qin fell precisely because of its unbridled debauchery. Does the king enter the city now to assist Jie in his tyranny? Bitter medicine is good for the disease, and honest advice is harsh to the ear. I begged the king to immediately return the army to Bashang. Liu Bang obeyed, sealed the treasuries, and withdrew. Subsequently, Zhang Liang used the favor he earned in Xiapi to persuade Xiangbo to mediate, completing the political reconciliation before the feast at Hongmen. One can say that from this second cooperation, Zhang Liang assumed the vital role of the strategist for the rising Han Empire. He began to display a strategic vision that transcended tactical arrangement. Liu Bang's unconditional trust was the prerequisite for Zhang Liang's genius to manifest. Yet this was not yet an eternal bond. At that moment, the state of Han still existed, its king was alive, and Zhang Liang's original intent remained intact. After the feast at Hongmen, Liu Bang was enfeoffed in Hanzhong. Zhang Liang, about to follow King Cheng back to the state of Han, proposed a strategy: burn the plank roads built along the cliffs. These were the lifeblood of Hanzhong. Burning them signaled a self-imposed isolation, thereby lulling Xiang Yu into a false sense of security. Once again, Liu Bang executed the plan without reservation. Zhang Liang then followed King Cheng eastward. However, Xiang Yu did not allow King Cheng to return to the state of Han. Within 2 months, the overlord demoted King Cheng to a marquis and established a new king of the state of Han loyal to himself. Later, Xiang Yu executed King Cheng. Zhang Liang's dream of restoration was shattered. His enemy shifted from the state of Qin to the overlord, Xiang Yu. Zhang Liang had to find someone capable of this revenge. He escaped from Pengcheng and returned to Liu Bang. Not long after, the Chu-Han War erupted. Zhang Liang followed Liu Bang as they eliminated the state of Han that had been established by Xiang Yu and fought their way back to Pengcheng. However, Xiang Yu counterattacked at Pengcheng, crushing Liu Bang's coalition. Liu Bang fled westward in a state of panic. Upon passing through Jiayi, Liu Bang lamented, "I would be willing to give away all the lands east of the Hangu Pass if I could only find someone capable of helping me defeat Xiang Yu." Zhang Liang responded immediately. He pointed out that among all the heroes under heaven, only 3 men were capable of helping Liu Bang secure victory over Xiang Yu. One was Yingbu, the king of Zhujiang, who defied Xiang Yu's authority. Another was Peng Yue, who had taken to the wilds as a bandit. And the third was Han Xin, the Grand General of the Han army itself. As long as lands and kingships were granted as rewards, with these 3 men secured, the world could be settled. This is known as the Jiayi strategy, and it defined the entire Chu-Han conflict. It was the ultimate weapon that allowed Liu Bang to defeat Xiang Yu. The logic was simple but ruthless. Forget about capturing cities, instead offer to carve up the world as a reward. This bait united rival warlords to crush an unbeatable enemy. History proved Zhang Liang right. Yingbu's rebellion shattered Xiang Yu's front lines. Peng Yue's guerrilla attacks in the rear exhausted the Chu army, and Han Xin completed his legendary conquest of the north. But Liu Bang was not a perfect executor. He hesitated. He wanted to renege on his promises. Luckily, at every turn, Zhang Liang was there to stop his mistakes and pull him back from the brink. In that moment at Xiayi, Zhang Liang evolved. He went from being a mere tactician to the supreme mentor of the state. Although the course of the war was still fraught with perilous situations, such as the siege of Xinjiang mentioned at the beginning of this video, the overall situation began to turn in favor of Liu Bang. Finally, after more than a year of confrontation at the Honggu Canal, Xiang Yu was forced to sue for peace and led his troops eastward. When Liu Bang also intended to return westward to Guangzhong for rest and reorganization, it was Zhang Liang who stepped forward to advise him to actively tear up the peace treaty, pursue the exhausted and grain-starved Xiang Yu, and seize this singular strategic opportunity for a fatal blow. Liu Bang made a decisive move and immediately pursued Xiang Yu. However, Peng Yue and Han Xin held their troops back, leading to Liu Bang's defeat at Guling by Xiang Yu. Liu Bang asked Zhang Liang, "Peng Yue and Han Xin are not following my commands. What is happening? What should I do?" Zhang Liang saw through the matter as clearly as a mirror. He did not even mention the strategy of Xiayi from years ago, but instead gave a direct solution. Promise nearly all the lands originally belonging to Chu to Peng Yue and Han Xin, telling them, "As long as you help me defeat Xiang Yu, I want none of the Chu lands. They will all be yours." Zhang Liang proposed the advice. Liu Bang's expression shifted between light and shadow, and finally, he uttered only a single word. "Good." Consequently, the elite forces of Peng Yue and Han Xin were fully deployed. The overlord Xiang Yu was ultimately defeated and took his own life at the Wu River. Not long after, Liu Bang proclaimed himself emperor, and the Han Dynasty was established. The world was initially settled. To the west of the Hangzhou Pass lay the commanderies and counties belonging to the Han Dynasty. To the east of the pass were the nominal vassal states of Emperor Liu Bang, Zhang Tu, king of Yan, Peng Yue, king of Liang, Xin, king of the state of Han, Zhang Er, king of Zhao, Yingbu, king of Huainan, Wu Rui, king of Changsha, and Han Xin, king of Chu. It seemed as if many states still existed. Yet it was no longer the world known to Zhang Liang, the son of the state of Han Chancellor. Under the persuasion of Zhang Liang and his peers, Liu Bang established the capital at Chang'an and commenced the grand enfeoffment of his meritorious officials. For his legendary contribution in devising strategies within a command tent and determining victory 1,000 miles away, Zhang Liang was granted a vast fiefdom of 30,000 households. Yet Zhang Liang remained exceptionally calm and detached. He chose only the land of Liu, the very place where he had first encountered Liu Bang, as his personal fief, becoming the low-profile Marquis of Liu. Furthermore, after following Liu Bang back to the region of Guangzhong, Zhang Liang used his frail health as a pretext to rarely participate in political affairs. He began to practice the Taoist arts of longevity and health cultivation, often remaining indoors for more than a year at a time without stepping foot outside. During his years of campaigning alongside Liu Bang, he had indeed discovered the yellow stone at the foot of Mount Gucheng in Jibei, exactly as Huang Shigong had prophesied. From that moment on, he kept the stone by his side, offering sacrifices to it during the 4 seasons of the year. As Liu Bang began his military campaigns to suppress the kings of different surnames, Zhang Liang explicitly declared his desire to abandon the affairs of the human world and wander with Master Red Pine. He then committed himself to the practice of bigu, fasting, to cultivate immortality. Aside from a rare instance where he offered counsel to Empress Lu regarding the succession of the crown prince, a move made solely for the long-term stability of the Han Dynasty, not another word was ever heard from Zhang Liang on the political stage of the Han Empire. In the year 195 BC, 7 years after the formal founding of the Han Empire, Liu Bang passed away from illness. 9 years later, Zhang Liang himself passed away. It is said that when later generations opened his coffin, they found it to be entirely empty. He had not succumbed to death, but had achieved ascension to immortality. More than 300 years later, Zhang Liang's 8th-generation descendant, Zhang Daoling, founded the Tianyi sect of Taoism. From then on, the lineage of Celestial Master Zhang has been passed down in an unbroken succession as the leader of Taoism, continuing for 65 generations to the present day.